Welcome to the International Art Doll Registry. I'm here with Bambi,
Hi, everybody.
and today we're going to talk about.
vidIQ, like video.
Well, you and I had talked about it before, and so I went ahead and checked it out. Now, you mentioned it was free, and there is a free trial. The only thing is that if you're dumb like me, is the fact that I went ahead and I signed up, and I had to analyze one of my videos. So I thought, okay, I'll have it do another video just to see how it ranks the way it ranks. But when I brought up all my videos, it took the next two in line. And apparently you only get three chances. So once you use your three chances to try it out, that's it. So
Oh
my
my
free
God. Oh,
so my free trial period was gone
trial.
in a blink.
So then what do you have to do? You have to pay every month, like a subscription every month?
You have to take a look at it because when you read the fine print, it says that you will be billed yearly and no refunds.
Oh.
So
Oh,
you do have to realize that even though you're signing up for kind of like a monthly rate, you're
you have
going
to
to
pay
really
for the
be
whole year at
committed
one
for a
time.
year. Because
Mm,
if you say, okay, I'm going to take this for 6 months and try it, they're already going to bill you out for the year. And
mm.
then you're not going to get those 6 months refunded.
I do not remember paying. Let me ask you a question. So I pay for YouTube so that
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any advertisements or any of that kind of thing. Do you do that
Correct. I do
as well?
that as well.
Okay, so that wouldn't have anything to do with it then.
I don't read the fine print. So I always have my husband say, okay, now make sure I'm clicking on my dots and crossing my T's and stuff. And that's where he says, well, you do realize because overall, and I guess we should explain a little bit more about what this program is.
So it is, first of all, do you remember how much you had to pay for the year?
I went ahead and signed up for two of my channels, the
Okay.
IBR one and then my own
Yes.
personal one.
Yeah.
That one, because there was a slight discount, I ended up, I think, where it's like, I want to say about $17 a month.
With that in mind, that it isn't just free. I guess you get a little free trial, but you better be careful with it. You certainly do have to watch those things. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely be sure you're paying attention what you're paying for and whether or not it's going to be lucrative to you. Now, I have found that vidIQ is worth whatever I'm paying for, which I guess I'll find out when it renews. It does so many things. For the first thing that I notice right away is when I watch a video, anybody's video of any topic, whatever, I can see that video's analytics right on the same screen. Up at the top of my screen, it shows me a kind of a little graph of how many views it's had, where it peaked at views. I can click on a
Now,
couple
this
of
is on
things.
other people's videos, not
Yes,
yours.
yes.
Okay.
I can click on it and see at a glance what keywords they use. I can look at what score their title gets because vidIQ will score your title and
Mm-hmm.
it scores your description. So I can see what vidIQ scores theirs, which helps you to really compare when you're doing market research
Okay.
to
Now, I'm going
compare.
to
So
ask you a question here because when you're saying you're seeing those scores, that's where you're just going to YouTube and seeing that information on YouTube, or are you watching that video through the app?
I can see it when I open YouTube on my laptop and I'm signed in
Mhm.
under my login, I can see those stats. If I have my screen just minimized,
Mhm.
I can see those stats around the perimeter.
Oh, okay.
Or
I
there are
just
little
haven't
places
looked.
where there are places I can click on. So I can
Oh,
click
okay.
on
I'm going
things
to have to
to
start
get that
looking now.
information. Yes, and it's a really good way to compare your videos to like videos. And vidIQ will suggest to you like topics or like formats or like titles or like keywords. So you can do all of those kind of things with it. So that's one thing I love about it. The other things that I love so much, so when you go into YouTube Studio, you have a lot of these same kind of analytics around. Can open up your vidIQ, and there are so many things you can do, like you can click on daily ideas, and based on the niche that you're working in, as far as what videos you make, it'll give you not just 10, but 30 ideas of videos that you could make that fit into your niche, that are trending right now. So it's like it does all of that research for you, and you can scroll through those and go, oh, here's a video on making a fairy door, and it have a title, and you're like, oh, I could make a video with that title. So you click on that, and then it tells you, okay, here's a description you could use, and you can edit that description. And here are some keywords or some tag words, right? Here is some ideas for your thumbnail. All of those things it gives to you. That's what I love about it.
Mhm.
Anything you can do for me, anything I can do to cut down on some of that time. Plus, I don't think I have the knowledge or the education to do that kind of market research.
But now with AI coming in, you also have to keep in mind with that algorithm helping everybody else out there, you're competing against that as well.
We can lose ourselves down the rabbit hole of AI. You have to take it or leave it, and I think we have to take parts of it and leave parts of it. I think that's the only way we're going to be able to survive. vidIQ is just another AI program. A computer program is going through all the millions of YouTube videos in your niche and compiling all of that information for you. So it's all AI. And if you use something like ChatGPT, it's easy to kind of bounce back and forth between vidIQ and ChatGPT.
Listening for some words, and that is trust. We, as the creator, need to create that level of trust with our buyers.
Yeah.
And so that they know that when they get into our site, our website, that they also know that what they're buying is going to exist and that they have a way of communicating with us, which is one reason why I write my stories the way I do, so that they know what level of trust that they can establish with us.
Oh, yeah. I don't have any problem with almost any AI product as long as I know that's what it is. Out there is not trying to mislead me.
It goes back to that trust because with me, I will sometimes make my little characters do something that I couldn't do when they're dull,
Yeah.
but I make it so obvious that you have to realize that part of the story is them doing that. But if you
Yes.
want to buy the doll, here's the image of the doll, and this is the way it is and stuff.
Yeah.
To use this program, I was really pleased with it because, as you said, it's hard to sometimes come up with good titles. And I went and typed this one title in, and I didn't spend a whole lot of time in it, but I thought I was correct in what I was wording it to describe the title. And as you said, I think you have like from 0 to 100 that you
Yeah.
can get rated. Mine was like 24.
I know. I love that. And see, how would we know? How would we ever know that that would be a poorly performing title? And I love that just beneath it, it gives you higher scoring titles.
Some of the title suggestions go with trying to do the shock value, like bizarre
Yes.
dolls or scary
Yes.
dolls. People have to realize that what they're reading is what is going to be in that video or what they're buying for that
Yeah.
product. It goes back to that establishment of trust because if you're just doing it to get the point system to be out there to be found, then you're buying into that social media propaganda versus I'm trying to really reach my customers. One reason why I wanted to check out this app is because, as you said, it helps us to evaluate what we're creating with our videos. But the thing is another video that I saw was why do we want to be on YouTube? And the thing is like Facebook, I think, has really gone downhill for trying to keep us all together and interacting
Yes.
because I don't feel like my reach is nearly like what it was before. And I'm getting a lot more ads. Instagram is a little bit better, but to me, it's still always more about picture, not trying to engage people for conversation wise. And as they said, both of those all still go into a loop. So by the
Yes.
time you post something within 24 hours, it could be out. Where if you're posting on YouTube, that could be out there for a year easily. And so
Mm-hmm.
people might find you and discover you, and they can go back
Yes.
in and see some of your stuff. So if you're really
Oh
wanting
my
to,
gosh. Every
yeah,
time I discover a new artist, I go back and watch every video they've made, no matter how old their channel is. I'm usually find myself disappointed. Oh, they've only got 5 videos,
And that's just it, is because then that one gives you a chance to be able to see more of their work. But it also means for all the time and energy that you just posted into getting something out there, it's going to
Yeah,
last. It's not
yeah.
going to be gone within 24 hours.
My favorite people has hundreds of videos out right now, but by the time I discovered them, their videos already had 5, 6, 7,000 views. I was like, oh, let me go back and look at their first videos.
As a creator, not only of a product, but again of your videos, IQ helps us to even come up with ideas so that we can come up with videos to generate. I think you should post at least once a week, maybe, or at least once a
My,
month. I
yes,
think once a
I think
week
once
though,
a
you
week
get.
is recommended. Once a week is recommended. What I found the sweet spot for me is I try to post every 5 days. So that gives me a little more than once a week, if you will. vidIQ, when you get ready to post a video, if you schedule it, and when I schedule it, it tells me the best time of day for my video to be posted. The other thing that's part of my schedule is I post shorts. I try to post a short every day. vidIQ will give me ideas for short. It'll take your most recent video and break it up into shorts. I post a short almost every single day, and sometimes I post it at 9 a.m., sometimes I post it at 1 a.m. So I switch that up all the time. My strategy is, in my thought process, is that those shorts are going to catch viewers and bring in subscribers. Those are the people then who are going to take the time to watch my long form videos, which I try to keep under 20 minutes.
Okay, so because that was going to be my next question, because I have heard that your followers are either going to be following your shorts or they're going to follow videos. You're not going to get both. It doesn't make sense to me because I know I would do both. Why would I just want to focus on just shorts other than they're easier for me to make right now? You can't just narrow your viewing people down by just doing the shorts, I think. I think you need to
Yeah.
figure that.
Sculpting channel, I would have video I made on sculpting a fairy door. In the week leading up to that video coming out, I'm going to post a short every day with pictures of that fairy door. Little shorts of me making it or painting it or in its environment or sitting on the shelf in my studio. I will usually put some kind of text on screen that talks about the magic of fairy doors, the wonders of mica powder, the brilliance of polymer clay. So that's kind of like my buildup. By then, I've got, in the comments, I've got, video on making this fairy door come.
What did it take for you, just the time it would take to make that one video? And now you're making all these shorts. That's a month-long preparation, I would think.
Well, you would think so, but no, so let's say I'm making a fairy door. I just stick my phone on my little thing that hangs over my workstation and just turn it on and let it go while I'm making my fairy door, right? And I've got all this footage I can edit. I narrate over it. I add music or whatever I'm going to do to it. So 15 to 20 minutes seems to be the sweet spot for me. Now I've got my long form video. Okay, so as I've put my fairy door up in my studio, right? I only make shorts of about 20 seconds. I don't know what it is about 20, but 20 is just my number, I guess. But so my shorts are about 20 to 30 seconds long. I don't even make them a full minute. And I just take a video of my fairy door, a straight on with my camera. I'm straight on and I get a 30-second video of it. Maybe then I'll get it from a different angle. When I put it in the oven, maybe I'll make a 30-second video of it while it's in the oven before I put it on the actual journal, or before I put it on the shelf or whatever.
Mhm.
So I'll just do those kind of things. Or maybe I'll just take several pictures of it and then turn them into a video, like a slideshow, right? And so then I'll use ChatGPT and I'll say, give me 10 mindful quotes about the magic of fairy doors. And ChatGPT will give me 10 quotes about the magic of fairy doors, and I just pick 7 or 8 of them, and that's the text I use on screen with each one of those videos.
Mhm.
And so then I link. So by now I've already scheduled my long form video, so I have a link, right? And so when I post my shorts, then in the comments, I just have to put the link to the long form video. Plus, at the end of the short, it'll show on the screen a little link to the long form video.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, it's just trying to, how many clicks can you get? How many people, how can you
Well,
make it easy for people to click on something or catch their attention and get them to stop and watch your video, your long video?
exactly. Well, and then I also noticed one thing though, is because I had my video set up to where I had default information, so I didn't have to keep
Mhm.
always putting my links and all that stuff always in it. That apparently, if you take the vidIQ detail information, your default stuff disappears.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so
I
if you
noticed that too. And so for at first I would keep my Word document open that had what my default was. So I just would copy those and paste them back in there
that's what
underneath
I'm
the
doing.
vidIQ ones.
Yeah.
A lot of times I noticed that sometimes they were duplicate. Also, sometimes the tags I would have in there would have a really low score, like 30. Seen many different influencers who make videos about how to get more views and stuff. I've seen them talk a lot of times about how the algorithm kind of punishes you for fluffing your description and your
Oh,
keyword and your tag words. I've tried to limit myself to just using tags that have like a score of 60 or above.
oh, good point.
The other way I think it punishes you is if the beginning I would have my description, but then I would also put, oh my gosh, 50 hashtags, right? I think that that also punishes you for that because it wants you to, instead of putting hashtag fairy door, it wants me to use the words fairy door in my description.
I think that's what I'm hearing is SCO words are becoming more
SCES.
important.
Yes, yes, yes.
And it's probably
Exactly.
because the AI can understand those where the hashtags were needed before because it was run more by people using the computer. Now that the
Yeah.
AI is faster and quicker, the hashtags will probably
Are
eventually
cluttering it
kind of,
up. Yeah.
yeah.
It's just so many things you just have to learn by trial and error. And, like everything I've said today and everything I'm sure you've said today, I have watched influencers of all kind on YouTube, but I certainly do watch people who are very successful on YouTube and what they do and what they know about algorithms, what they know about the SEO, what they know about this vidIQ or ChatGPT. And they all have similar information, but they all also have a lot of different information. So I think it's just like you've got to take all of that plus what you and I are saying, and you just have to see what works for you.
Same thing like with doll making. You have to learn how to use the tools that you need to make your dolls. So it's the
Yeah.
same thing as you have to realize that advertising is a large part if you want to sell your product. And so therefore you've got to learn the tools that are going to help you because otherwise you're paying somebody else to do this. And not all of the small businesses have that opportunity to spend that kind of money to have somebody else do this for us.
It is so true. I watch so many people smooth clay with an explorer tool. When I bring out my explorer tool, my dogs are going to have scars. How do you do that? So, yeah, it's true. Different tools work for different people, you know?
Mhm.
And just because a tool is working for somebody, that might not work for you.
Creators, we tend to think outside of the box and we tend to use things that are not necessarily normal tools anyway. Because if
Yeah,
people realize that I actually use hardware wire in my doll
repurposed.
bodies versus plastic sculpture, we are creative for a reason. I'm glad you recommend vidIQ to me because yes, I'm learning it. It is a package to now unwrap and figure out how to best use it, especially because I'm hoping to have it help us to grow on the IDR.
I'm going to stick with YouTube, I think, for a while. Out of all the other social media things that I do, is my favorite, both as a viewer and as a creator.
I think for mine, it's the longevity of it. The one that has the least amount of drama in it right now, as far as who's
Yes,
doing what with it.
yes.
The YouTube, you as a person are saying, this is what I want to see, this is what I want to learn, supply me something. You can only supply what we have created.
Oh, yeah. And it is one of the best community builders.
It's a good tool and hopefully will slim some of our time down so we can be making our stuff. So I
Yeah.
do appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah.
And I will we'll have to do a follow-up because I'm waiting to see 6 months down the road how much more the numbers will have changed from now.
Yes.
We'll do a recap. All right, well then we will see you next month then.
Okay, that sounds great.